spot on the line. Winner here facing the 2-seed Houston Rockets.
He's known as playoff Jimmy, but tonight he's going to have to be playing Jimmy.
I really believe I can score with the best of them. I don't care who I'm lined up against.
48 points for Jimmy Butler. Curry off a screen, fakes, fires, stuck it, just stuck it.
Butler and Chef Curry put this Warriors team on their shoulders to get them that 7th seed.
You appreciate how important it is to play meaningful games, and now we have a series that's going to be full of meaningful ones.
All right, we open the hour with Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler and the Warriors going on, playing their way out of the play-in. And look, that might not have been ideal for them to have to play last night, but they may have gotten a better path. Our ESPN analytics in a best-of-7 series would have given OKC an 87% chance to beat Golden State. You see, this series against Houston expected to be much closer. The Western Conference playoffs are going to be unbelievable. And with that thought in mind, let's play a little game of What If with Windy and Alan back for this. Windman, what if Anthony Edwards is the best player on the floor in the upcoming series between the T-Wolves and the Lakers? Then what?
Well, he's going to have to do it 4 times. If he does it 4 times, they're going to have a fighting chance. Look, the Wolves are a powerful team when they're playing their best. And Ant Edwards last year, when he played against Luka Doncic in the Western Conference Finals, wasn't at his best. I think he was a little fatigued from that series with the Nuggets. He never cracked 30 points in that series. Luka averaged over 30 points. That can't happen here. I know Luka has a different team, but Ant Edwards, especially against the Laker team that doesn't have great basket defense and doesn't have elite perimeter defense, Ant Edwards can take advantage in this series.
I will remind everyone that there was a moment in time when Minnesota beat Denver when we were talking about Anthony Edwards like he was the next one. Like this was about to become his league. And then the next series went the way Windy is talking about and all the rest of that. And so looking at it from the Lakers' perspective, you and I were talking about this earlier, it's interesting. What is the one reason why you would think the Lakers could win not only this series, but maybe some more after that?
They have the most stars. Stars win series. Stars win in the playoffs. And that's something that you can never forget. And in this series, that's the difference. Anthony Edwards could be the best player on the floor in every game. And it still won't matter because the Lakers still have the 2 other best players on the floor. And his supporting cast in Minnesota, Anthony Edwards I'm talking about, now they do have some good players. Obviously, and what Jaden McDaniels is going to do, what Naz Reid's going to do, their 3-point shooting, that's all important. But it's still, the stars raise their level and raise their game in the postseason. These 2 guys have played great together. They have great chemistry, and all it's going to be about now is trying to match that and stop that, and good luck doing that 4 games.
You're 100% right. Jimmy Butler came to Golden State and said that Steph is Batman and I'm Robin. Luka comes in. To continue the analogy that we've had working all morning long, is this a Batman-Robin situation, Windy? I mean, LeBron James is not Robin under any circumstances, right? So how are we viewing that dynamic duo going into this postseason?
No, but one of the things that we've seen with LeBron is that since Luka arrived, LeBron's been able to conserve energy. So much of what LeBron has going on at this point in his career is picking his spots on when to press down the accelerator. And we've seen him be able to conserve energy and have really big 4th quarters repeatedly playing alongside Luka. And there's a couple of advantages for the Lakers in this series. One, they have home court. They are an elite home court team. That makes a real difference for them for whatever reason. The second thing is, in this series, they come in, Luka and LeBron have had 9 days off, and then it's the first round. It's spread out. There's a bunch of off days. That favors LeBron. When LeBron can be rested, he's a significantly more dangerous player at this point in his career.
Okay, let me go to another one here. We'll continue the game of what if. Alan, this one is for you. What if the Mavericks lose tonight against the Kings, which would end their season? Then what?
It means nothing. It means they get to move on from this nightmare of a finish of a season, and they have to now get healthy. And then we'll talk about the trade and everything else and continue to all the way into next season until they are finally whole again. I don't think it means a thing. I think that trade has already been over with. I do think, although Nico Harrison did talk to the media, they're going to have a bigger exit interview and have some give and take with the general population of the media so they can get all the answers and get it out of the way and move on.
Well, yesterday, to that point, Cindy, if we can put it on the screen here, here's what Nico Harrison, the GM of the Mavericks who traded away Luka Doncic, said. There's no regrets on the trade. Part of my job is to do the best thing for the Mavericks, not only today, but also in the future. And some of the decisions I'm going to make are going to be unpopular. That's my job, and I have to stand by it. He went on to say, our philosophy, like I said, going forward is defense wins championships, and we're built on defense, and this trade cements us for that. Windy, what should I take from that?
I mean, him saying there's no regrets is disingenuous. I don't believe that. I think he's just trying to save face. I'm not sure why he did the press conference if he wasn't going to be conciliatory. 2 events happened to the Mavericks this year. There was a Luka trade, which is a standalone thing everybody's watching, and Kyrie Irving tore his ACL. That is a terrible turn of events, the Kyrie Irving injury. That is now defining where this Mavericks team can go. I don't know when or if he's going to be able to play next year. So they go into the offseason. They don't have a primary ball handler. Nico Harrison now has to go out and probably make some other type of trade or some other type of maneuver to get a primary ball handler. They've got to make a major adjustment to this roster. That's what he's got to focus on now. But I'm not sure why he keeps saying this about, what the point of even doing this is. You can have as many press conferences as you want. The thing I also think about this was a little bit disingenuous is him focusing on defense. That has not been the way that they have necessarily operated. They were a good defensive team last year when they went to the finals. Then they went into the summer and they said goodbye to Derrick Jones Jr., their best perimeter defender, and brought in Klay Thompson, who at this point in his career is not a good defender. He's an offensive first player. So you can't look at me and say that defense wins championships is your primary focus when the moves that you made prior to the Luka trade did not indicate that. And so that's why I'm saying I find this to be disingenuous. I don't believe he doesn't have any regrets, and I don't believe that defense wins championships is the driving factor behind that trade.
I also don't think you can trade away a 25-year-old player and say that my job is to do what's best for this organization in the future.
His job is to do what's best for what ownership wants.
Well, perhaps.
He's the fall guy right now, taking all the bullets. But keep in mind that ownership would not. With a player like that, you got to sign off on something like that. So while yes, it's his decision and he has to own it, it's everybody in Dallas that has to own this. He just happens to be the front man on this.
Brutal. Well, you'll see them tonight. Our NBA play-in tournament games are on ESPN tonight, 7:30. We got the Bulls and the Heat in the East. That's the 9-10 game. And then in the West, it is the Mavs and the Kings. The losers of those games, their seasons are over. Our coverage begins with NBA Countdown at 7 Eastern. Meanwhile, back to the NFL. In the last hour, we got into our best-case scenarios for several teams as it relates to the draft.
Bạn đã đến với kênh YouTube của mình. Lại là mình đây. Video ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục đi tô màu để cho các bạn cùng xem. Và ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tô màu những sản phẩm, đó là những con vật, đó là những đồ vật, hoa quả, vân vân. Để làm được video tô màu thì mình sẽ chuẩn bị những dụng cụ, đó là đầu tiên là điện thoại này. Điện thoại để quay lại quá trình mình làm này. Đây là bút sáp màu này. Đấy, mình sẽ tiến hành tô màu và mời các bạn cùng theo dõi quá trình mình tô màu. Và mình mong rằng các bạn hãy ấn like và đăng ký kênh để ủng hộ mình. Mình cảm ơn các bạn rất là nhiều.
Trực tiếp tô nhá.